You are the safest human being who has ever lived. Think about that for a second. You are not going to be eaten today. You are not going to starve. The water coming out of your tap will not kill you. The roof over your head will not collapse. The people around you are not going to raid your home in the night and take everything you have. For the first time in 300,000 years of human existence, the threats that built your brain are gone. And your brain is falling apart. Not because safety is bad, but because your brain was never designed for this. It was built for a world that wanted you dead. A world where the wrong decision didn't cost you your job or your social standing. It cost you your life. And now that world is gone and your brain has turned inward. And it is eating itself. Let's start with what fear actually is, not the feeling, the system. Deep inside your brain sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Its entire job is threat detection. It is scanning your environment right now, every second, looking for anything that could kill you. A sound that's wrong, a face that looks hostile, a shift in the air that doesn't belong. It never stops. And for most of human history, it didn't need to. The savannah was genuinely trying to kill you. Leopards were real, rival tribes were real, starvation was real. Your amygdala had a full-time job because the cost of missing a single threat was death. Not embarrassment, not discomfort. Death. Here is the problem. Evolution is slow, catastrophically slow. Your amygdala is running software that hasn't received a meaningful update in roughly 200,000 years. It does not know about grocery stores. It does not know about door locks and antibiotics and emergency services and smoke detectors and car insurance. It only knows one thing: find the threat. Find it before it finds you. And when it cannot find one, it does not power down. It invents one. In the 1950s, psychologist Harry Harlow ran a series of experiments on rhesus monkeys that would never be approved today. He raised infant monkeys in complete isolation. No mother, no peers, no social contact of any kind. Completely safe, completely fed, warm, sheltered, protected from every physical threat that exists. Within weeks, the monkeys began destroying themselves. They rocked compulsively. They bit their own arms. They stared at walls. They became entirely unable to function in normal social settings. Every measure of well-being collapsed. Safety, total and absolute safety, had produced something that looked almost indistinguishable from madness. The researchers expected the monkeys to thrive without predators and scarcity. Instead, they fell apart. Because safety without challenge is not peace. It is a vacuum, and a mind does not tolerate a vacuum. It fills it. This is not just true for isolated monkeys in a 1950s laboratory. In 2019, researchers at University College London published a study tracking anxiety and depression rates across 26 countries. The pattern was striking, deeply counterintuitive. The countries with the highest physical safety, the best healthcare systems, the lowest rates of violent crime, the most reliable food supply, consistently produced the highest rates of anxiety disorders. Not the lowest, the highest. The United States, Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, countries where your statistical chance of being killed by a predator today is essentially zero. Countries where your children are safer than any children who have ever existed in the entire history of the human species. In those same countries, roughly 1 in 3 adults will experience a clinical anxiety disorder in their lifetime. 1 in 3. Your amygdala was promised a war, and when no war came, it declared one on you. But here is where it gets stranger. It is not just anxiety. The absence of real fear is changing what we are afraid of. In a 2018 paper in the journal Psychological Inquiry, researchers documented something they called threat substitution. When the brain's threat detection system cannot locate genuine survival-level danger, it does not shut down. It recalibrates. It lowers the threshold for what counts as a threat until something, anything, finally triggers it. In a world with no predators, a critical comment becomes an attack. A social slight registers as a survival threat. Uncertainty about the future, any uncertainty, fires the same alarm that would have fired when a shadow moved in the wrong direction on the savannah at night. The system is working exactly as it was designed to work. The environment has changed so completely that the design itself has become the problem. Think about what that actually means. Your ancestors had fear, and it was horrible. They were cold and hungry, and most of them died young and in pain. But the fear made sense. The fear had an object. You run from the leopard and the fear stops. You find food and the hunger lifts. You make it back to camp and the system discharges. There is relief on the other side. Genuine animal relief. The kind your nervous system was built to feel. That discharge does not happen anymore. There is no leopard to outrun. There is no rival camp to defend against. There is nothing to survive that will let your nervous system feel like it actually won something. So it never resets. The alarm stays on, low, constant, with no clear source and no clear solution. And here is the most uncomfortable part. The answer is not more safety. In 2013, researchers at the University of Michigan studied what they called productive discomfort. They took groups of people and gave them genuinely difficult tasks, not dangerous, but hard. Tasks that required real focus, real effort, real uncertainty about whether they would succeed or fail. The groups exposed to consistent productive challenge reported dramatically lower rates of anxiety than those who weren't, not because their circumstances were more comfortable, because their threat detection system finally had something real to lock onto, something legitimate to fight, something where the outcome actually mattered. The brain does not want peace, it wants purpose, it wants something real to push against. A mind with nothing to fear does not become calm, it becomes frantic. It starts manufacturing threats from the inside. It treats the imagination like it is the external world. It starts reacting to thoughts the way your ancestors reacted to predators in the dark. And what makes this so hard to escape is that from the outside, everything looks fine. You have a warm bed and enough food, and nobody is hunting you. And some nights, you lie there at 2 a.m. and your chest is tight, and something feels deeply wrong, and you cannot name it, and you cannot explain it, and you cannot make it stop. That is not a malfunction. That is a 200,000-year-old system scanning for a threat in an environment it was never built to understand, doing exactly what it was designed to do, in a world where the design no longer fits. Every generation before you lived and died inside a world of real danger. The fear sharpened them. It kept them present. It kept them alive. And buried inside that hardship was something modern life has quietly removed. The feeling that survival actually meant something, that making it through the day was an achievement worth feeling. We built a world so safe that the most dangerous thing left in it is the system we built to survive the dangerous one. The leopard is gone. Your brain hasn't noticed yet.